where local news comes first. This is NBC 6 News at 10.
Well, 2 soldiers are dead in the second tank fire at Fort Hood in just 2 months. Well, today's accident comes after an investigation blaming the post for the last fire. 9 others were hurt just after midnight this morning during training exercises. Now, tonight, the Army is only releasing one victim's name, Private Chris Morados from Little Rock, Arkansas. The previous fire, which happened in May, started in the tank's NBC filter. It has a danger alarm, but Army investigators say Fort Hood engineers incorrectly wired the tank, so the soldiers never heard the warning.
In this case, that filtration system was not in use at the time. It's certainly not the cause that we would suspect at this moment.
Today's fire looks to be unrelated. It started in a gun turret. In fact, the NBC filter wasn't even on at the time.
Pouring from the hull. Army officials this morning were able to shoot this footage of the damaged tank from last night's fatal fire. With 2 tank fires involving the M1A2 Abrams tank in the last 2 months, questions are being raised this evening over its safety.
We have tried to stress to the extent that we can with our soldiers through command channels and other channels as well, that safety always has to be their first concern when training.
A safety alert notification letter was recently released on July 10th following investigation into the first fire on post May 15th. The Army Safety Center reports a wiring malfunction with the nuclear biological chemical system on the tank may have resulted in the accident. In the letter, the Army Safety Center recommends that commanders make corrections to the NBC system before the system is used again in training. It warns if the problems are not corrected, use of the system could result in more fires. The notification also states fire evacuation drills must be reviewed before any more M1A2 Abrams tank training is conducted. While Fort Hood officials have not been able to confirm if these safety alerts were followed, they do believe the NBC system was not in use during this weekend's training event.
This is subject to correction, is that system was not in use at the time during this gunnery exercise, and that's not uncommon.
For now, Fort Hood officials say they will do all they can to cooperate with the investigation.
I know everyone is very concerned, wants to make sure that we get to the bottom of this incident, discover what happened, and take measures so that it won't happen again.
Ryan Kelly, News 10, Fort Hood.
The military plans to have almost 1,200 of the Abrams M1A2 tanks in service by 2004. The tank is manufactured by General Dynamics. It's designed to provide heavy armor superiority on the battlefield. Its key features: mobility, firepower, and shock effect. It's equipped with a 120mm main gun combined with a powerful 1,500 horsepower turbine engine and special armor that protects against nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons. Its versatility allows the Army to use the M1A2 in both offensive and defensive roles. The M1A2 also uses the Army's high-tech software that allows for rapid deployment, thermal imaging of targets, and night vision. Most of the M1A2 tanks that have been made for the Army are for use in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. This was the 4th fatal training accident on Fort Hood since May. On May 15th, 1 soldier died after fire broke out in the Abrams M1A1 he was driving. 9 other soldiers were injured in the accident. Officials at Fort Hood say the fire released potentially hazardous chromium and cadmium from an air purification system, exposing dozens of people. And last month, a soldier died when a Humvee rolled over as it crossed a stream on post. The accident left 4 other soldiers injured. And on July 17th, 3 soldiers were killed when the truck they were driving rolled over after the driver apparently lost control.